So, rubbing out again to get to the next part of this exciting process, okay? You've conducted good performance management, or you are managing that when you are monitoring. Okay, you're watching what's going on, you're assessing. Okay, you're now not only you've watched what's going on, now you're understanding it and making sure you're making some judgments about whether it's working or not. And then lastly, once you've assessed it and you know what's happening, you then do the review. Okay, so it goes to that, which in turn leads to that, which in turn leads back to that. And it just keeps going around and around and around and around. We continue to monitor and see what's going on. As we're monitoring it, we're making a decision about what that means. Once we've made a decision about what that means, we start to review and get some information, okay, on a regular basis. Okay, and it just keeps churning around and around. Now that I've reviewed it and given someone some information, I'm back to monitoring, I'm back to assessing, I give them feedback. I watch what happens, okay, and it just continues around and around and it doesn't ever stop. Okay, that's, welcome to your job as a manager, but if you can get that right and you're providing continuous feedback, then things should work out okay. Okay, you can continue to test and adjust, find out what's going wrong, and then you can fix it. Okay, so it is that continuous cycle, but there's some considerations there. And the first one is that when you do it, it needs to be an appropriate measurement. Okay, you need to make sure that you're doing it on an ongoing basis, but what you're looking at is appropriate. Okay, you're not looking at anything that's not directly related to their employment. Your performance review is not whether someone's a good or a bad person. Okay, that's not the purpose of the job description or whatever it happens to be. You might not like the color of their hair. By the way, that's not a conversation here. What we're looking at is their performance. Not whether you like them or not whether or not they get along with the other staff. Okay, that's not the conversation. The next thing is it has to be a fair process. Okay, we need to make sure that when we're doing this, we're treating everyone the same way. It's not, but here's my favorite, so only did half his job, but I like him, so I'm not going to punish him or anything like that. That's not the purpose here, okay? It needs to be fair and equal, okay? Everyone gets the same measurement, everyone has the same rules, it's the same for everybody, okay? Which leads to consistent, okay? If I have two people that have underperformed, I can't treat one way and another the other, okay? So it needs to be a fair system. We've all got the same measurement. And then, depending on where we go, it's consistent. I can't say, this guy was a superstar, he did well, and give him heaps of rewards, but the other person that I don't like also did well, but, I gave him nothing. Same, I can't unduly punish one over the other or anything like that. And besides which, it's not about punishment, okay? Just remember that one. Assessment systems and performance feedback is not about punishment. We're not here to punish, we're here to help, lead, mentor, and coach people to where they need to be, and identify what's going right or wrong in an organisation. Okay, it's not a punishment stick. If you use it as a punishment stick, people will stop participating. The next thing is we need to make sure that it's understood. Okay, that everyone knows, that there's no grey areas here. Okay, our system, it needs to be, appropriate, sure, fair, sure, consistent, yeah, but they need to know what the hell's going on. Okay, make it really clear what's happening. Okay, that they understand. And if there is a lack of understanding or they're not sure how it went, be a leader and explain it to them, okay? And if you can't explain it to them, go take some time, find out what the answer is, then come back. But make sure you give people a real answer, don't just make it up, and don't tap dance very quickly, trying to hope it goes away, because it won't, it'll become a problem. The other thing is you need to make sure your system is supported. And when I say supported, by those above you, okay? So the whole organisation has to be on the same page. Okay, if you've got some people say yes, it applies, and other people know it doesn't, on an organisation level, and some areas are subject to one rule and some areas aren't, well, what you're going to get is inequality, and that's going to start getting people, cranky. And then we need to make sure it's in line with goals. Okay, so our system has to be aligned to the goals of the organisation. If our organisation is about becoming the #1 provider of customer service in our area, then all these different targets and everything we do has to be in line with doing that. Okay, we can't start coming up with new things to measure and new things that don't relate to the company goal. Okay, we need to stay right on top of where we want to go. All right, so we monitor, we assess, we then give some feedback, tell people what's happening, and then Whether they're underperforming or overperforming, we give access to coaching and development. Either coaching to fix up their shortfall or coaching and development to get better. Okay, you look at an all-star sports team, they still get coaching and development. You don't say, oh, well, you're the number one, soccer player, let's stop training you. We say, actually, let's train you more. If you're underperforming, we coach you to the point of performance. If you're performing well, we try and coach you to get that uplift, okay? The aim is to not try and take someone like that, because that won't work. The aim is to continually take these small steps, small incremental steps over time until we get to the line we want. If they're above that line, we keep on going, all right? But that's the idea, is continuous performance and continue to go there. Okay, great. Well, that covers that sort of bit there, all right? We now know about the principles of what needs to happen. Moving past what needs to happen, we start to think about, okay, what activities are we going to monitor? So when we're doing this monitoring stage, what are we looking at? Okay, where am I getting my information? So what am I going to look at? And what we might start looking at is a range of things. We might start to look at, well, outputs. It might be, any sales. Okay, we might do, how many sales do they make every week? Do they make sales? Do they do this? Do they do that? Do they make cups of coffee? Do they score goals if they're a sports person? What is it we're going to look at? So the output. We might look at revenue. Okay, so we might track, well, how much money do they make us? Okay, do they make us lots of money? Is that the point? Sometimes in your organisation, it won't be the point of that person to make lots of money. Sometimes it could be about a whole lot of other things. Okay, so we might be tracking how much money they're making for us and what they're contributing to our financials. Now, once again, not every job is about making revenue. Sometimes they're there to do all sorts of other things for our organisation. It could be a customer complaints desk, and the customer complaints desk could be about, solving customer issues. They're not selling a product. They're not there to make money. What they're there to do is try and save us from losing customers or reputation or a whole lot of other things. Okay, so that might not be appropriate to give them. Okay, you need to think about what the job is and how that's going to work. The other thing we might be measuring is things like accuracy. Okay, you can make 10 hamburgers an hour, but if 7 of them are garbage and come back to me, well, that's going to be a bit of a problem. We might be tracking your output, how many hamburgers do you make, but also your accuracy. Were the hamburgers correct? When I went to McDonald's for my Big Mac, can I sell 10 Big Macs an hour? And if I'm selling 10 Big Macs an hour, are they 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, pickles, cheese, lettuce, onions on a sesame seed bun? Because if they're not, and I forget my sesame seeds, then I haven't actually achieved what I set out to do, which is to make a McDonald's Big Mac. Okay? It's a standard recipe every time. 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, pickles, cheese, lettuce, onions, sesame seed bun. If you miss some of that, you haven't actually done what we've asked you to do. Okay? You might start thinking about measuring impact. Okay? So if you're looking in terms of delays or what the person does, what we're talking about there is, what effect does their work have on other people? Okay? Is the person on time? If they don't make their thing on time, does it stop other people in the organisation? Does it allow people in the organisation to begin doing their work? Okay, so what impact does the role have? And you might measure that. You might also start thinking about any other special projects or achievements. Okay, so anything special you've asked them to do. Okay, did they have any standouts? Did they have some amazing week where everything worked? Did you have them on some special project on top of their normal job that you need to factor in? Okay, so we're looking at all the different things I might need to factor in to make sure that I've covered it. Okay, there's no point in me saying, oh, well, you didn't sell enough of these items and I just haven't measured the fact that, well, I had them off doing something entirely different for a week. Okay, it'd be inappropriate not to factor in all the different things that have gone into that. Okay, so they're all the things I'm going to monitor. Another thing I'm going to monitor when I'm out there is I'm going to monitor behaviour. Okay, what do I mean by behaviour? Okay, so we're monitoring in this case, what we're starting to monitor there is them, okay, the person themselves. And the things that we're going to start to look at is, are they friendly? And that doesn't mean that everyone has to be everybody's best mates, okay? We're talking about friendliness and professionalism. Okay, that's it. We're not talking about are they your best friends or not at work. What we're saying is do they tend to get along with the other team members? Do they create friction? Or are they there, they're able to come along, do their job professionally and not disrupt the team? Okay, so that's it. You might have a brilliant person, but if every 2 minutes you've got an argument in the place because they're a hothead, you might need to get on top of that and say, hey dude, we might need to moderate that behaviour a little bit. On the other hand, if that works for the organisation, go for it, okay? But you need to have a bit of an idea of what the corporate culture is going to be like there. All right, you're going to monitor their enthusiasm and their commitment. Okay, so you want people that are on board, they're enthusiastic, they're keen, and they're committed. Now, if they all of a sudden start getting less than enthusiastic and less committed, that's not, well, I'm going to get out the punishment stick and beat you down because you have to be happy or else, when everyone clap and tell us how happy you are. Okay, that's not the purpose there. That's a guideline for you that if you start to see the enthusiasm slip and the commitment slip, that's a warning to you to say, hey, look, maybe I need to talk to that person to find out what's going on. Okay, anything could have happened. We need to find out what it is and jump on that and try and help them. Okay, initiative. Okay, if there's a problem, do they walk by it or do they do something about it? Do they jump in and sort of come up with new solutions? Okay, what's their general attitude? That sort of gives you an idea about whether they're really thinking about the job or thinking about what they're doing, and once again, how much they care and how much they're taking on board. Okay, if something needs doing, do they do it or do they have to be told? Once again, not a punishment stick motive, there, but maybe an opportunity for you to provide better leadership. Okay, it's not always about them. Sometimes your leadership could be off. Check yourself before you check them. Anyway, punctuality might be a thing. Okay, are they punctual? Do they turn up on time? Do they leave on time? What's going on with that? Okay, that could be critical to your business. It might not be critical to your business. Okay, think about how that works. If they're showing up late consistently, maybe that's something, or, once again, might be a measure, might not be. Okay, think about how you want to go there. And also their teamwork. Okay, do they fit in with the other people? Are they working with the other people? Are they assisting the other people? Okay, the point is that we're trying to achieve things as a business, as a group, or as a team. And if you've got these individual players who don't want to fit in and play well with the other people, then that's going to create a hassle. Same with the friendliness or professionalism. Okay, it's about how they work with the group. Okay, do they support? What do they do? All right. So by getting together and having a good system of observational techniques, so you as a manager out there looking at that and perusing these the whole time and making sure that's happening, combined with really good communication, it's going to allow you to make a really good assessment of your staff day to day. Okay, that you'll be able to watch them, understand what's happening, good communication's going on, and that way everything should be working. Okay, and if it's not, you can get onto that and limit unproductive behaviours. Okay, so you can get straight in there and say, hey, look, I'm watching, this is what I saw, and I'd like to fix that. Okay, if we manage to do that, what we now have is a really good monitoring system where we can start to monitor our people, see what's going on, see what the limitations are, get out there, we've got a fair system of measurement, everyone's informed, and then we're out here actually watching and monitoring that behaviour. If we get all that done, that's the first part of setting up a good performance management system. There's heaps to this because it's critical to your business. Understand what your people are doing, help guide, coach and mentor, provide them the leadership, provide clear context, and if you get all that right down to the bottom level individual, then your whole organisation will do well. If you get it wrong, your organisation won't do well, and you'll be lost and confused, and people will leave. Your good people will leave, and your bad people will stay. And then you're stuck with like the worst employees ever. But that's your call, it's your business. Good luck out there.